Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Mario once again from Woke Up a Rebel, and this is another episode of Rebelations podcast. I'm here right now at 4SOUND Studio. We are documenting the songwriters that are participating in the C.O.L.A.B series songwriting camp, and we had an impromptu special guest. The man Freddie Fame is sitting here. Who is Freddie Fame? Freddie Fame is an important person in the music scene here in Toronto and in Canada. Why? Because he puts people on stages, artists that never even thought they had it in them. He just hollers at them and is like, hey, do you want to be on a stage? And puts people on the spot and makes people see what they're really made out of. So it's a pleasure to have you here on the show, my guy. So
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Cook, man. Letting you take the mic, man.
You know, I have been doing this for a while, and to be specific, for hip hop, this year is my 20th year.
Okay, shout out to you.
Putting on shows for hip hop, and it expanded to management and artist development and all kinds of services that are involved. And I just want to talk about a little bit about that, you know.
Do your thing,
because,
man.
you know, putting on shows and that stuff, that's one aspect, and I love doing that. But the psychology even behind it is like its own thing, and it really has nothing to do with music. You know, the psychology of working with all these people and being able to facilitate different projects and, you know, create them. And there's a whole psychology behind it. So I always said, you know, when I get an opportunity to teach at a university or whatever, I will be teaching the psychology of the music game. You know,
Gotcha.
like, learn how the video guy's thinking, learn how the beat maker's thinking, learn how the manager's thinking. Like these, once you know what everyone's thinking or how everyone is supposed to act in their roles.
Yeah.
If you know that stuff, now you can formulate a little better in whatever you want to accomplish, you know?
Got you.
So, yeah, it's a lot of psychology, and a lot of people are at different levels with their understanding of this whole music game, because I've met a million artists who are amazing, but they haven't made it.
They just don't have that thing.
Why is that, though? Why is that?
That's a good question.
That's what I want to talk about a little bit, you know?
Okay.
So psychology is a lot of to do with what you know. Doesn't even matter how good your music is. And when I start talking like this, people shut down because they don't want to hear this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear this like business talk. It's like if you don't understand business, you're not gonna understand music business.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of people get scammed. A lot of people complain that they're in a bad deal because they just never took the time to do their homework on learning the business.
Yeah, so if you're not an entrepreneur, like you're not gonna understand a lot of the people that you're gonna work with, because they're fully on entrepreneurship and they think that way. So when you come into a room where, like, imagine coming into a room full of dentists, and you're a beat maker, you're not going to understand their lingo. You're not going to understand what they're talking about. Like, what the heck? You're going to be like, yo, I don't want to do this. Right?
Yeah, that's a good example.
So it's the same thing. Like, if you're not understanding of, like, some kind of business or some kind of entrepreneur stuff, you're going to have a really hard time dealing with a lot of people, because that's what this game is.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurialism, a lot of entrepreneurialistic spirits. And so that's why I help artists realize this kind of stuff. When I say, I didn't say teach. I don't teach them. I help them realize. It's a completely different thing. Because one day, it's just going to be like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, it's like applying what you're learning. I want to
speed up that process. I don't want it to take you 10 years before it's like you get that moment of realization. Because if that's what's going to happen if I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of force feed the game. I push people to their limits, like you were saying. That's one of my specialties. I like pushing people because a lot of people don't even know what they have in them.
Yeah,
until someone comes in and rips it out of them and displays it in front of them, and sometimes they still won't even believe it. So before they even, you know, get onto anything, I'm just going to be like, here, check it out. Everybody here, check it out. That way, when you see everybody loving what you're doing, you're going to get that momentum.
Shit, yeah. Wow, dude, that's amazing. And you know what? I know at least 3 people that have told me, like, yo, Freddie Fame reached out to me and he told me, yo, do you want to perform? I don't know what to say, and they choke. Some of them have accepted the offer, like Romeo, and then there's other people that have just choked. And, I'm not gonna mention any names, but they just choked. They don't know what to do with themselves, and they're great artists. But I guess sometimes it's also the ignorance of not knowing what to expect or how it plays out. Actually showing up, getting on stage. What do I do? How do I hold the mic? Like a lot of people don't know these simple things.
Oh, that's true.
And that's just that. But the business side of it it's the most important part of it, and that's why not a lot of people make it in this game.
A lot of people don't have that in them. And you're right, though. A lot of people I put on the spot, they choke, right? And I move them to the side. You know what I mean? Because in my position, I don't have time to wait for people.
Facts.
And people get offended at that. It's no offense to anybody, right? If you need some time to, yeah, cool. You can watch what's going on, right? But there's no way I'm gonna like have you around me because that energy is for other people. The only energy that's allowed around me is let's go. Yes, I'm down. I'm ready. Like that's what I need. If it's anything else, I'm pushing you to the side, and like I said, it's no offense. And when you are ready, you can reach back.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Or if I ask you again, because I'll do that, I'll re-ask and say, hey, you want to perform March 22nd? After I asked you 3 times, So just be ready, guys, because me, I ain't waiting, and a lot of people ain't waiting either.
Yeah, I understood, and I have a question for you. In regards to getting talent to perform, is there an expectation like you need bodies to be in the crowd, right? So how do you like have you had shows where it's you're expecting that okay, this artist they have a huge following on social media, but then when it comes down to the moment where the show's happening, it's like where are your people? Where's your audience? Like have you had situations like that?
All the time.
Right?
So to regulate that whole thing, right? Because I know what it is as an artist, you want some people to watch you perform. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you want people in the crowd. So my shows now evolved to networking events.
Okay.
So there's gonna be a whole bunch of people there just because of the how I run it. It's a lot of artists involved, and yeah, let's break it down. Okay, let's just say I book 50 artists. I know it sounds a little ridiculous, but that's normal to me.
I have a hard time dealing with just 4 artists booking for a show.
50 artists,
Jeez.
right? Let's just say there's 50 artists. That's already a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say each person brings one person.
You got
That's
50
already
bodies.
100 people right there.
Hmm.
Without even like blinking. That's 100 people. So yeah, like I know what it is to want a crowd, and I know how to create the crowd.
Hmm.
And a lot of people will say, oh, but it's all artists, yeah, and they're all people, and they all are fans of someone else. Why not you?
Yeah,
All
that
you
is
gotta
very
do
true.
is present what you have, and if the artist, aka the person, the human, right, likes what you're doing, they're gonna be up on what's coming up next too, and I can help
Yeah.
you with that because you always have to be like steps ahead of everything.
Yeah. So what has been your driving force to not like to just keep being consistent, because it's hard. Like I've had times like I've put together with my team about 4 events, right? Or 3 events, and it's been hard. And there were moments where I just like I don't want to do this anymore just because of how difficult it is to deal with artists.
Yeah.
Like what keeps you going?
What keeps me going is that there's always someone new, right? So I meet an artist, they have all this energy, right? And again, no offense to anybody, this is just the reality. As a beginner artist, you really want to do something, and then when you did it once, you kind of like, it's like, okay, yeah, like what you don't understand is you got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You got to keep doing it. So what keeps me going is once the artist's energy leaves, there's someone else to replace.
Yeah, there's always somebody
so it's
else.
always fresh energy.
Yeah.
Fresh energy, and that's what motivates you. That's what keeps me going. It's always new artists, new energy. The opportunities that I either find or create get filled because, if you want it, cool. If you don't want it, there's someone else right there ready to take the opportunities. So that's what keeps me going. And and want to stay consistent is because there's always someone there that wants to do something that either I find or create.
Okay. Have any artists that have performed on your stages, have any of them, broken into the industry?
I would have to say yes in different ways. I think the biggest one was Tory Lanez. A lot of people know that story.
Please do briefly tell us.
I want to hear my co-host and see what she heard, what she thinks about watching the doc.
Meg's part was extremely compelling.
What about Tory's part?
He, it's so funny. His manager, I'm watching it and I'm like, this guy looks mad familiar. I fucking grew up with him. I was like, oh shit, Freddie. He's got a fan base that really totally believe in his innocence, and that's great for him.
He was very young. I was doing some shows with him, but I knew that he would be a force within the record breaking industry. You get what I'm saying? Liquor. Just a real club song. It was a banger. And then I heard the next song was called Internet Girl.
Okay.
Internet Girl. And I was just like, yo, this guy sounds like Drake, Kanye, Weezy, like all mixed into one. But yeah, I just saw it from the beginning, and it was cool just to see what happened with it. And I'm one of those types of people that when I have some energy for this stuff, I put it all in just to see what happens. And it's been a development of, but yeah, there's different people, different ways that they're able to maximize their returns on this music game.
Yeah.
I have another dude. He wasn't a fan favorite or the crowd favorite in music, but he had other services that he had. So he made all kinds of money just because he was able to turn the music people into clients of his other business.
Right? So you hear that, people? The amazing importance of networking, regardless of what it is. You may start in one avenue and it takes you to a whole different world because of the fact that you started somewhere, you started shaking some hands, and what you originally thought was your passion probably wasn't there. Your expertise, whatever it is that you're good at, was better exercised somewhere else, and you were able to flourish and monetize it, right?
No, it's true. And I always tell artists, yes, we're all here for music or some kind of music game, but if you do garage doors, right, someone actually might need that service.
Facts.
So tell everyone what you do. Like, yeah, you make hits, you're working with amazing people, you have the best videos, but what else do you do? What else? That would be my recommendation. But yeah, a lot of artists have broken into this game in different angles, and I'm glad to say I had a little part of it.
Yeah, that's always such a great feeling, to know, especially with artists that are just starting out. That gratitude is like, yo, thank you so much for the opportunity. Like, it's not even an ego thing. I think we can relate to that. It's not even an ego thing, like, oh, I did that for you. It's not like, I can't believe I was able to do that for you, and that allows me to want to continue wanting to put shows together myself, right? It's the joy that you see in people actually, like, you get to see somebody living out something that they've been working their asses off, to do, and just seeing it actually just, formulate into the reality of it. So yeah, man, how much time have we taken? Because, this is such a great conversation. I would hate to
keep going.
All right, so what else would you like to tell us, man? What do you have coming up?
Okay, so I've been doing this for 20 years, and I have a 3-day music festival coming up very shortly.
Holy, 3 days.
And that is March 22nd, March 23rd, March 24th. Damn. I will be putting on 50 artists March 22nd, another 50 artists March 23rd, and on the 24th, I will be bringing everybody together for one mega show.
Holy crap, where's that happening?
All secret locations.
Oh,
no one
okay,
knows. No one knows. But the purpose is networking, right? So I get all these people in a room. All of a sudden, everyone starts knowing each other. All of a sudden, the scene starts growing. All of a sudden, more scenes start popping up because of all these people knowing each other. And that's it. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I just come in, build some scenes, walk away, build some more scenes, go to different cities. And I love it. It's just all part of the the experience.
It's funny that you say, it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like when I listen to hip hop, journalists or platforms like Breakfast Club and stuff, one thing that they say that in regards to New York hip hop, it sucks that it's no longer at the top of the game. And why? Because they all started beefing with each other. Nobody was supporting each other. And the model that's been working for a long time now is Atlanta. Atlanta collaborates with each other. Everybody's jumping on each other's songs, and that's how Atlanta was able to take over, right? So I feel like that's also the direction that you're going with these people. It's like you're trying to build Toronto up like an Atlanta, where stop doing your solo thing. It's collab with each other. Collaboration is very important, right? If people want to elevate to another level, because it's just how things work in business and any industry, I guess you can say. Even in the auto industry, you see companies doing different collaborations where certain parts come from different companies, right? In order to deliver the final product.
No, that's true.
Right. So I really do see that as something that you're doing, and I give you mad props, because it takes a lot of work, man.
I'll tell you, like, all the work that I do is trumped by certain situations. If we have some time, I'll bring that up right now.
Yeah, go for it.
I could have all this information, all this energy to pour into people, whatnot. But as an artist, you gotta know who to take advice from, okay? I've seen a lot of situations where I'm like, hey, let's go to Montreal. Let's do a show in Montreal, meet some new artists. And then your friend, who has nothing to do with music, is giving you advice that is the opposite of what I'm telling you. You get what I'm saying?
Yep, there's always that one friend.
Why do you gotta pay? Why do you gotta pay to go to Montreal and perform? Why do you gotta pay? I'll tell you why you gotta pay, right? You gotta get up there. Who's paying for you to go meet people, right? So you can expand your network. Who's gonna pay you to do that stuff? You gotta pay for that. Now, these people out in Montreal, right? They got their own bills that they gotta deal with a venue. So now you're coming from out of town. No, that means no one's coming to see you.
Yeah.
So now they're supposed to pay you to come and meet people. It doesn't work like that. But what's happening is now these artists, they're taking advice from like people like that. Right? And although your friends mean well in the long run, in their head it makes sense, they're doing damage to you, because now you're steering away from what I'm saying. Right? And then what happens is you get embarrassed because, you kind of got like steered in a different way, and now you're afraid to link a brother up. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this. Feel embarrassed, because it's part of the game. I've been embarrassed a million times. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Feel the embarrassment, because that's what makes you stronger as a person first.
Yes, sir.
Then as an artist. Remember, guys, it's not about, artist is... No, what kind of person are you? You feel what I'm saying? So I help with that too. It's not just about here, learn the music games. Learn how to be a better person, because it's going to help you with anything. Anything you do from there.
Damn. Man, you're speaking to me, because I've gone through these experiences in my very, very, very early stages of, putting my own events together. And it's just... God damn, it's so difficult. I don't know how you do it. Like I said, me dealing with just 4 or 5 artists, and you dealing with that many egos. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's another thing too. Like I've also heard artists, that tell me like, Freddie Fame wants me to pay, and I get it. You know what I mean? It's like, who do you expect to pay for all of this stuff? It's like venues need to be paid for.
I'll tell you, like,
doorman, everybody.
I'll tell you, the mindset is like that. Why do I gotta pay? But if we start thinking, or we have a different mindset, like, if we all put our money together, we can have whatever we want. That's what kind of mindset you have to have if you're chilling with me. It's not about, I gotta pay. It's, no, I get to pay so we can do all the stuff we dreamed of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You start thinking like that, now we're getting places, because now you don't have that block in your brain that was planted to you by someone that's not even in your world. Come into this world where there's a bunch of artists, a lot of motivation. I have so much to give, but if you block yourself, you're gonna kind of just cut your own self out of this stuff, And I've seen it happen so many times where artists are so motivated to get involved, right? We do some things, and the friend, why do you gotta pay? They should be paying you. Yeah, man, eventually, but not when you're starting out. Like I said, the guy in Montreal who's putting on a show does not and will not ever think, I'm going to pay the guy who's not known out here, put him on the show so everyone will know him and now his career can get kickstarted. Who's thinking that way, you know? The guy's going to put you on because you're paying and you're going to get a service now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I help facilitate the thoughts even.
Yep.
The thought. Let's think in music business. You know?
I think,
Concept.
if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Young Dolph that the way that he broke into the industry was, I think Gucci Man was performing, right? So Young Dolph, I think it was between 10 or 12K that he was at, that, you know, he had to pay Gucci. And, you know, people that don't get it will say, well, why didn't Gucci pay him? Like, what a selfish guy. He's rich, but it's not about that. Gucci probably also had to pay, you know, to put that event together himself, you know, like somebody, you know, it's a business, like you said, at the end of the day. So it's very important that people hear this kind of stuff, because if you want to make money, you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, nobody's going to invest in you until they see that you're investing in yourself, that you believe in yourself, you know, but really it comes down to where, put your money where your mouth is. Like, if people don't see you actually investing in yourself, you know, more than once, more than twice, more than 3 shows, you know, people need to see consistency, that you're actually performing all the time. And I'm assuming, you know, people like yourself are looking at that too, right? If you are to pay an artist, okay, well, how many people can you bring?
Yeah.
You know, are you gonna be, is the ROI gonna be there, right, for what I'm paying you?
The whole thing is promoters pay artists because they generate ticket sales, right? And if that part isn't in, like, where's this magical money coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I getting paid? What? Yo, you can actually tell me how much you're gonna get paid. You know what I mean? Because you know what and how to think in music business or show business.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to ask no questions anymore. You already know, okay, if I have this many people, this is how much I'm gonna make. Yo, Fred, this is how much I'll be getting paid. That's what kind of power I give to you, you know? But then you go to your cousin who does plumbing, he's like, what? That's the wackest shit I ever heard. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't work for you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, guys, you really gotta understand that I'm not here to waste your time, but you have to think in a certain way so our time is maximized.
Yes, sir.
One more story.
Go for it.
I've had shows in Montreal where I didn't even have a venue.
Mm-hmm.
And all these artists booked. You know, everyone's like, hey, where's the venue? Where's the venue? Don't worry. Montreal, anything can happen in Montreal, I'm telling you. Right? So I get to Montreal, I was like, where's the venue? Where's the venue? Don't worry, it's coming to me. It's coming to me. Right? All of a sudden, bang, I get a call, live to air. All the artists got interviewed live on the radio.
Oh, shit.
Venue, people there. And everyone's like, yo, how did you do that? It's because I believe that this stuff is going to happen and it's real. Right? So as long as I believe it, it's happening. As long as you believe that it's happening, everything's going to work out. If you like all dowdy and stuff, move.
Where did you get this, like, from? Like, are there books that you read, like business books?
No, I just do. I just live in it. You know, I could write the books.
Oh, snap.
I'm at the
Maybe
point
you should.
where I can write the books because it's not even about what you have, what you know did, or it's what you can do, what you believe you can do. It's a lot of mind power. That's what I was saying. The psychology of it all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually need anything to win. And I'm living proof. And honestly, we'll get into a discussion about that later. But yeah, it's all mind power. That's it, guys.
That's so amazing.
So I'm gonna leave you guys with that.
Dude, you gave us some gems, and you know, if anybody wants to reach out to you, you know, and you know, ask, hey, Freddie, you know, now that I've heard everything that you have to say, what it takes to get on your stage and eventually, you know, make money together, you know, what can you tell them? Where can they find you?
Fred E. Fame. Just like that. Spell that out on Google, on Instagram, on Facebook. You'll find me. But I always tell people, or just ask your friends, because they all know me. Like, Toronto's where I am. I'm here. So your friends know me. You can ask them. They'll be able to get you in contact with me. respect and thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. And honestly, I really recommend you probably write a book, man, because people could really probably use your knowledge and, flip it and, probably you can probably change lives without you even saying a word. They can just read your book.
One day,
Get the playbook,
one day.
you know?
Thank you. Well, thank you for
Truly
having
appreciate
me.
it, man. This is, Freddie Fame, your boy Mario of Woke Up a Rebel for Rebelations podcast. We are here at 4SOUND. And thank you so much. Catch you in the next episode. Peace.